Nurse Hemingway. I'm just going to be taking your vitals.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Great. Just extend your arm for me.
This?
Yep, perfect. Thank you. How are you doing today?
Good. Very well, thank you.
Just get a little squeeze there.
It's nice and tight.
You're doing great.
Nice and tight.
Oh, perfect. 120 over 80. I would have expected anything else from you.
We just need to check out my pulse.
Yes. Your pulse is good. 120 over 80. Perfect. And let's check your heart rate now. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, 60. I'm just going to get your temperature. Perfect. 98.7. Perfect. So the doctor will be right in.
Oh, wonderful.
All right.
Thank you.
Darren.
Thank you, Dr. Hemingway.
You're welcome.
All right, and if you could actually do me a favor, and one of the reasons why we are live streaming this is because we want to be accountable for Miss Tara's health, and we have a bunch of people watching. So if you could go over and just pay attention to the screens and read us any questions that crop up,
Absolutely.
we want to have absolute transparency in this. So,
Perfect.
all right, Miss Indiana, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Doing well. It seems Nurse Hemingway forgot to denote your height and your weight. What is your height
5'7",
and your weight?
140.
Beautiful, that is absolutely in the healthy range. And just looking over your vitals here, it looks like your blood pressure is in the normal range. Your heart rate is a little bit low. It's 60 beats per minute. Is that normal for you?
That is normal for me.
And is that part of the career choice that you've made, or do you just operate really coolly?
I think I'm just kind of a lizard.
Okay.
I think I'm just very calm and collected.
And it seems that your temperature was 98.7 today, but in your charts, you're usually operating around 97 degrees.
Yeah, my temperature is usually a degree lower than what is normal.
Okay, and that's the lizard. Is that correct?
Yeah, the low blood pressure,
Okay.
the low resting rate of my heartbeat, the low temperature. I'm very
Okay.
calm.
Okay, and is that a medical diagnosis that you've received before, that you're part lizard?
Then a part lizard?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Maybe you can determine whether I am in fact part lizard.
Okay, and then I believe Nurse Hemingway took some blood tests earlier, so we can
She did.
see, we can look at your genealogy as well.
Oh, terrific.
A really important thing also, and while this is not relevant to your medical history, we need to make sure that you are actually a U.S. born citizen.
Yes.
You weren't born somewhere else. You
I
know,
was not.
There's a lot of questioning that in the media lately, so we're gonna have to do a blood test as well as
Okay.
screen your background.
Uh,
All right, and so I'm gonna take a listen to your heartbeat, take a listen to your lungs, check out your abdomen a bit, and just make sure that we're operating under maximum capacity.
mhm.
And you've been healthy as of late? No
Yes.
illnesses or problems?
No, I quit smoking in January and I feel great.
Oh, that's beautiful. Can you lean up for me?
Mhm.
All right, wonderful.
Do you need mine in the back or the front?
sounds like your heartbeat is just beautiful. And then I'm gonna have you take a deep breath for me. Expel. Take another deep breath. Beautiful. And then if you could lean back on the table for me. Pardon my reach, I'm just gonna listen and make sure that everything is going well in your abdomen. Have you eaten lunch today?
I have, yes.
Beautiful, okay, so that sounds like healthy stomach functions. All right. Well, everything is looking good so far. Some of the things that I'm gonna need from you are a little bit of family history.
Okay.
Is your mother still alive?
She is.
She is. And has she had any medical concerns, breast cancer, any kind of cancer, heart issues?
No.
No?
No, she's in good health.
Okay,
She's
wonderful.
70,
Okay.
and she's in good health.
All right, are there any other mental health issues on your mother's side of the family?
Oh, my mother's crazy as a loon.
Okay, is there any medical diagnosis for that, like bipolar, schizophrenia, manic depressive?
She never got diagnosed, but if I was going
Okay.
to speculate, I would guess borderline. That would be my armchair.
Untreated BPD. Okay, and then what about your father? Is he still with us?
No,
Okay.
my father passed away, but I have a biological father, and then I have a father that raised me,
Okay,
but they have both passed away now.
okay, and then your biological father, just to get like the medical history in your
Yes.
family, was that a medical or was that like some other cause of death?
Yeah, well, he had AIDS, and he lived with it for a very long time. He lived to be 70.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing that he lived that long, and I'm
And
sorry to
he,
hear.
And he had it full blown back from the 80s, and it's unusual for people to make it that long.
Absolutely, and I know that the therapy that they had back then was almost as toxic as
Yes.
the disease itself. So
Yeah.
that is, and what year did he pass away?
2010.
2010.
So he was a tough guy.
And while we're on the topic of AIDS, what are you going to be doing to help end HIV and end the stigma on that?
That's a good question.
All right, I will make a note of that for later, and we can discuss that a little bit further. But yeah, and that's amazing that he lived such a long life. But that's not something we have to worry about because that is not genetic. And then your general health. Do you have any medical concerns that I need to be aware of in your history?
No, I come from a sort of hardy Russian stock type family.
Okay.
Kind of babushkas in my family.
Wonderful, yes.
Everybody's kind of hardy and just does what they need to do.
Well, my concern with that is, are you pushing through any medical concerns? Like, are you ignoring things just to function and work on
I've done that in the
campaign?
past, but I'm better about taking care of myself.
Because self-care is super important. You're going to need to make sure that you're taken care of so that you can take care of the nation. So
Absolutely.
we'll need you to be mindful of that. Have you had any surgeries?
Rhinoplasty.
Rhinoplasty? Okay. And then what about alcohol use? Do you drink, and how much do you drink on a daily
Socially.
basis? Okay.
If I go out for dinner, I'll have a couple of glasses of wine. I do that about 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay, so
but now that I'm on the campaign trail, there's not a lot of time for
okay.
those social drinks.
And then, so no excess drinking. We're
No.
not getting out of hand with that?
No.
Okay, wonderful. And then exercise. How often are you exercising?
I walk a lot. I walk at least 5 miles a day.
5 miles a day. That's wonderful. That's great for your cardiovascular health.
Yeah.
And then smoking. You said you quit in January?
January 5th.
Okay. And how long were you a smoker?
30 years.
And about how much a day?
A pack a day.
Okay. Congratulations. Are you on any nicotine supplements now, or did you just quit cold turkey?
Yeah, I'm using the vaporizers. The
Okay.
vapes.
I would be careful with that because we
Okay.
just don't have enough research out.
Information, yeah.
And there's still carcinogens, and while there isn't like the amounts of formaldehyde and all of the other excess stuff in the cigarettes, you still were not entirely sure.
Sure.
There have been evidence of popcorn lungs and things like that, and I wouldn't want to see you get into office and just have a lung collapse.
Yeah.
So my strong suggestion, in my professional opinion, would be to slowly wean yourself off of that.
Okay.
Okay, and then let's talk about diet. What are you eating?
I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I eat a lot of fish and meat.
Okay. And then whole grains, are you getting whole grains in there?
Not so much.
Okay. And then it says here in your chart that you drink a lot of white male tears with breakfast.
I do.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So I really encourage this behavior, and with bringing down the patriarchy, it is important to collect as many like straight white tears as possible.
Yes.
My only concern would be sodium content. So for
Okay.
every glass of male tears that you have, I'd like you to balance it out with a glass of alkaline water.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, wonderful, and I will write a prescription for you. And how much caffeine are you drinking?
I have about a cup of coffee a day.
Okay, that is reasonable. I drink about 8 myself, so
Okay.
you're totally fine there. And the last thing on here that we're going to need to go over is your sexual health history. How many
Okay.
partners have you had
In my lifetime,
in your lifetime?
what do you consider a partner? That's complicated in that sense.
That is
You
complicated.
mean where a penis was in my vagina?
Whatever you constitute as sex.
That's complicated. Penises in my vagina have been about, I'd say.
P in the V. Okay.
I'd say there've been about, I'd say 8 to 10 penises in my vagina.
Okay, that's actually a low number
is a
in
low
today's
number,
society.
But I've played with a lot of people whose
Okay.
penises did not go in my vagina.
And penises should never go in vaginas, and I am a huge advocate for chastity. I think that is the healthiest thing for a man to be in.
Yeah.
And then women, have you had any sexual intercourse with women?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and may I have a number on that?
That number's going to be bigger.
Mine's in the several hundreds, so it's fine.
Now, I would say including porn movies or not including porn movies?
Including porn movies.
Oh, then it's got to be like a couple of hundred.
You and I are in the same boat there.
Yeah.
God bless female supremacy, isn't
Yes.
that right?
So
I
much
feel like that's
better.
the healthier way to go. And female to female STD transmission is incredibly low. So yeah, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So this is just the safer way to go. Men in chastity and women sleeping with each other. I can definitely sign off on that for my regime. So I'm just gonna take a closer look because one more thing that I needed to go over. There have been some issues and concerns with having a female president, and there's been a lot of claims of women being highly emotional and starting wars for no reason and getting into general hysteria. So do you think that your feminine issues and your Aunt Flo is going to obstruct your ability to run this country?
Not at all.
No. And
Not at all. And I'll tell you what, I know it won't because all the relationships I've had with men, they never knew when I had my period.
Oh, that's wonderful. And are you using a contraceptive now?
No, because I'm with ladies at the moment.
Okay, wonderful. And so one of the older cures that we used to use to combat hysteria was masturbation. Are you masturbating on a regular basis?
Am I masturbating on a regular basis? I'd say about 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay, wonderful. That is a beautiful range. That is what we always hope for. Self-care is incredibly important.
Yes.
And there's a huge asterisk on my chart here, and it says something about a vagina with superpowers, and it says that your vagina has the power to bring men to their knees.
It does.
And that it may be able to rule the country on its own. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is. It's an extremely powerful vagina.
Okay.
When middle-aged white men see this vagina, they are completely helpless against it. They just throw themselves down on the ground on their knees and just worship it.
Oh, and it also says here that you have actually broken penises with your ability to do Kegels. Is that correct?
That's
your vagina
correct.
is that strong that it can break a cock. This is a big day in my medical career, and it is an absolute honor to be able to give you this exam today. And if you're comfortable with doing this on camera, I'd like to take a closer look, not only for the benefit of our country, but just for my own personal witness of this. All right, so let me put on some gloves and get a speculum. All right, and there are some gloves there. I think the switch to sleeping with women was probably one of the best things that you could have done for the candidacy.
Yeah, they should all be locked up.
They really should, and men are such disillusioned, unintelligent creatures that, if we had a female president that wasn't married and she wasn't sleeping with women, they would all just be lining up and think that she needed a husband, and we just need to take that out of the equation, really. Yeah. So, let me get speculum in here, and I will take a closer look. All right. Going in. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh my goodness. This is
Oh.
I can see what they were talking
See?
about. Goodness, let me just like, gotta get a good reach in here and like,
Okay.
oh my.
Yeah.
That is, oh.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is, it's a masterpiece. If Picasso made vaginas, this is, I imagine, what he would be going for. This is, wow.
Wow, yeah.
You have
That's
my
what most
vote,
people
Madam
say.
President. You have my vote. Sorry I didn't wipe the lube off. Well, I mean, while we're at it.
Yeah.
Oh, and it tastes great
good,
too.
right?
That is amazing. So we've already taken your blood work. I think we covered everything that we need to cover.
Do you have everything you need to put the letter together?
Absolutely, yes. And
Okay.
so with Nurse Hemingway here, I have a witness. We have many live witnesses that have watched this streaming today. We've been absolutely transparent in everything that we're doing. Were there any questions that popped up? Or was it just people in awe, loving everything?
Sending lots of hearts, lots of
Lots
love.
of hearts. And
Yes,
Wonderful,
lots of
wonderful.
Lots of
Okay,
thumbs
so-
up.
Okay.
And you'll be on the Dr. Susan Block show, isn't that correct?
Yes,
Publishing.
my second debate is going to be on the Dr. Susan Block show, Saturday night at 10:30. I'm debating against performance artist Jeffrey Valance. I beat him the last time. I'm going to beat him this time too. Would you like to come just to
I'll
watch?
actually
or
be at
do you-
Folsom, so I will be with Stockroom, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will be
yeah.
representing the Stockroom Company at Folsom,
Oh, no.
fucking a bunch of women and beating a bunch of
Yay!
men and doing what we do best,
Yes.
really. So
Good.
I will miss it, but I will definitely tune in, and I will have the letter notarized. It will have all the health information,
Okay.
and we have been as transparent as possible. So let me just say my professional opinion, and I will write a prescription for this. Fuck Trump, female supremacy, and Tara Indiana for president.
Thank you.
So, all right, we'll let you get dressed now.
Okay.